We are back. We are back. We are back. Let's see. We are. Oh, I was wondering if you could hear me before I actually got on here. That's hilarious. What? Yay, we are live. We are live. All right, you guys. I gotta make sure I put this in my calendar because I totally missed the 4:30. But I'm gonna tell you guys, today has been absolutely amazing. And just like my shirt says, see if you can actually see this, possibilities over reality. Possibility over reality. So, what does possibility over reality mean? Possibility over reality means that we have to, and I just realized you can't see the whole thing. So, I'm going to get over here. Let me get up. Let's make it to where you can see what I'm talking about. Possibility, possibility over reality, over reality. All right. And then you got the Lady J brand, because that's how I roll. When we start stepping into who God created us to be, it's going to look different, y'all. It's going to look different. It's going to look different. All right. So let's talk a little bit about today's Monday mindset. So today we are going to talk about getting unstuck. All right. So if you look at the framework, if you're willing to seek help, then you have people that will come around you and help you. If you're willing to trust the process, it is a process. There's no magic pill for any of these things. All right. When it comes to evaluating the impact, what is the impact of you not doing what you desire versus what versus taking the steps to do the things that will create generational wealth, create legacy. Maybe it's not about wealth to you. That's okay. What are those steps that is going to get you to that from point A to point B? And are you going to be able to figure out all those steps by yourself? Now, you can get really far by yourself. I got really far by myself because I went and sought, I will say still wasn't by myself though, because I went and sought education, right? I took nutrition, I took pharmacology. So I was learning nutrition from a registered dietitian, right? So I still wasn't learning by myself. When became a personal trainer, I was like, I've had these surgeries, I've had these injuries, I've been an athlete for a long time. Um, I had 5 surgeries by then. I was teaching group fitness classes, but even with that, there was sometimes I would have some chronic pain that I was dealing with. So I needed to go above and beyond. And I also realized that many of the people in my group fitness classes, whether I was teaching Zumba, HIIT classes, circuit training, whatever it was, spin, I would have people with different ailments. And in those group classes, I wasn't able to help them with their specific injury. I was in that same boat. So even though I can sit here and say, well, I learned these things by myself, I really didn't. I just sought knowledge. So if we're not willing to get all the certifications, and I don't want to say that in a negative way, don't take that the wrong way. I did it for different reasons. But if we're not going to go that route, then what can we do? Well, we can work with someone who has those certifications and who is willing to share their knowledge with us. I have different coaches in different areas. I desire to be able to create a bigger impact on teens and the younger generation, but that's not something I've ever done. So, what did I do? I invested in myself and I sought the right fit for coaches. So now I have a coach that is helping me in that area. In the past, I've sought out business coaches, and I will tell you, not every coach has been a perfect fit for me, but I always learn something. So now, what I desire to do is to box all that up. And what I had to really understand is I embody because of the situations that I've been in and what I am doing in my own life now. I embody 7 to 9 people. So when I have people that are like, well, I can't afford to work with you. Well, I couldn't afford not to place this type of investment on these programs. Because there was a point where I was helping people and I was pouring from an empty cup. And so that I could continue with my knowledge and getting my continuing education units and things like that, which are very those are investments, right? To continue that, I was going in the hole. So I was trying to make everything affordable for everyone else while I was going bankrupt. So I finally had to get to a point where I decided I am not for everyone. But what I can do is I can create other things like the group coaching or having access to the First Form app. I can have these other things where when people are not able to financially invest in one on one coaching with me, they still have the ability to gain the knowledge. But they're not going to get what my one on one coaching clients get. So they cannot, that is a very flawed expectation. Because with my coaches, if I were to join one of their low end programs, I cannot expect for them to pour into me like they pour into their clients that are investing $25,000, right? Now there are programs where I have invested over $20,000 that I did not have, but that's what payment plans are for, right? There's always a way to get in the door, even with my programs. I'm like, if you are willing to put down $500, I will work with you because I don't want you to not be able to get this because I already know that it's going to help you change your life. I just need you to know why $500 because we're going to miss that a little bit more. We will miss $500 before we'll miss $50. I want people who are ready to commit to the journey, to the process. They're willing to trust the process. So I'm not for everyone. I am for those who are like, you know what? I am fed up. I'm fed up with trying to figure it out. I'm fed up with hiring all these different people. I'm tired because that's where I had to get. You guys, look, I'm recovering on all fronts. When we think of recovery, we think of drug addicts and alcoholism and things like that, right? But we're recovering from people pleasing. When you begin to set healthy boundaries and walk into your greatness, step into your greatness and reclaim your life, you are recovering from the people pleasing. You are recovering from the old habits that held you back for so long. And I know this because I've walked in it, you guys. I've lived it wholeheartedly to the max. And every time I'd be like, you know what? It can't get worse than this. Don't ever say that. Right? But what I will say, because of the things that I continue to walk through, because life's not going to stop life, and there are still things on the back end that nobody sees, because of course, social media is the highlight reel, right? But with my clients, with my one on one clients, we get real with each other. I get real with you. You're going to learn some things that I'm not highlighting out on social media because that's just not where it needs to be. But I'm real with you. I am still learning. I don't have it all figured out. But I promise you, there are certain areas of life where the things that I have implemented in my life have got me so much further ahead. And the first thing was for me to be coachable, for me to be willing to seek help and understand that none of it is an overnight success. If somebody tells you they got something that where you can lose 10 pounds in a week, that is unhealthy. Healthy weight loss is no more than 2 to 3 pounds per week. So if you're losing more than that, that's not good. And I am straight up with people when it comes to that because I've learned from the best. All right. So I need you to trust the process. Today, I stepped out on faith and I am not just becoming a CEO, right? Like, it's great to start a business, you guys. It was amazing when I first started To Be Epic back in 2017, which that anniversary is coming up. But I know that there's more for me. So I started the other LLC last year based on some information that I received from a spiritual advisor that I have, where he was like, that's the name that God gave me for you. And I knew at that point that was what I was meant to step into. Now, I could have fought it, and I did for a long time. But at that point, I had to be like, you know what? I don't know what this is going to look like. I don't have it all figured out, but I'm going to get around people who can teach me other things. Right. When I met Matthew Curran back in 2020, I knew nothing about Convene. I knew nothing about what it was about. All I knew is these people cared about me and they poured into me just like I poured into other people. So those are the people I want to be around. Because before that, I didn't think that existed. So that's why I'm with Convene still. And now I'm his number two. I've learned it. But it was a process that was 5 years ago. This stuff does not happen overnight, but we are so fixated on finding these magic pills and these overnight successes that we quit before we can even get close to where we desire to be. So what I want is I want you to be the CEO of your life. Now that doesn't mean you have to have a business. Maybe you don't, and that's fine. Your business is you. So if you ever find yourself at a networking event and you don't have an LLC or whatever, you still have a business. Your business is you. I am working on me. And I promise you, if you start saying that, it's going to generate some really great conversations. I know that because when I started changing my words and how I spoke and what I said, and I stopped placing limitations on what I do and having to operate under a certain title, I'm just authentically who I am. And when I started embracing that and saying, you know what? I'm just authentically who I am and I'm working on myself and I'm helping others get to the point where they want to be. I'm helping others get out of their own way. And when you start saying things like that, people start to kind of, hmm, it makes people think differently, right? Because everybody just wants you to have a title. Everybody just wants you to operate inside of this box. This is the societal norm. This is what society tells us to do. Do this, and that will equal this. And we have to be willing to operate outside of the box if we want something greater for ourselves. We're going to have to release some people. We're going to have to release some things. And that's okay too. Once we continue to step out on faith, it's a game changer, you guys. And I know this because I am still doing it. Nobody sees the back end effort that I have to place every single day into what you see on the highlight reel. Promise you. I am constantly pushing past my comfort zone. And I'm grateful to the people around me who help me with that in different areas. They don't let me get complacent either. And I'm not going to let you get complacent. So when you work with me, you're not going to be able to be complacent or else I will let you go. Because I can't work with anybody who just wants to stay stuck. You got to be willing to do the work. So if you think about it, if you were to hire a personal trainer, a nutritionist, a trauma recovery coach, a life coach, a mental health professional, a therapist, a financial coach, a business coach, a supplement specialist, a physical therapist, a stretch coach, all the things, what would that look like financially? It would probably break you. Anywhere from 10,000 to 25,000 per month. I did the math, you guys, per month. And that depends on the level of coaching you receive. So if I'm offering that at 2,500 or 3,000 a month, you're actually saving yourself a whole lot. And that's what I want other people to get to because it's taken me a really long time to get here. But I want you to see the value within yourself. And I'm going to help you see the value within yourself. And I'm not going to let you just stay complacent because if you just stay stuck, you're just gonna, that's just how you're gonna be for the rest of your life. And I promise you, eventually it's gonna really pull at you. When people work with me, I always tell them, hey, this is the minimum you're gonna get from me. But maybe there's something else that I can help you with. That comes up later. But you have to be willing to take a risk. You have to be willing to take a chance. I would not be where I am today if I were not willing to take risks, operate in faith, find alignment, set boundaries, and trust the process. So, right now, I want you to ask yourself, what have I been putting off because of X, Y, and Z? Because I'm waiting for this person to be here, or I'm waiting for that person to be here, or I'm waiting for my life to be here, or my finances to be in order. What if I said, but I can help you also create multiple streams of income that will not cause exhaustion in your life? Oh, and by the way, it's not an MLM because I did those too, right? But you have to be willing to take that risk. So I want you to think about like what have you been putting off and why? Find the little girl within, or for the men, find the little boy in within, right? Like let me see if I can show you this picture. I found a picture. See if I can find it in my book. In my book. No, it's here. I just had it pretty recently. If not, I'll move on. But oh no, here it is. Let's see if I can show you. I say, you know what? I need to make her happy. I need to make her happy because she was happy at one point. She had joy at one point in her life, but unfortunately, and yes, that's me. Unfortunately, after the age of about 3, and of course, I don't remember too much of that, but definitely by the age of 6, there was a lot of things around me that tainted the joy. Watching my mom get beat up every day, losing a sister because my mom got a trash can thrown at her, being molested. There was so many things that happened, that occurred, that took my childhood away. So now I'm finally in a season where I'm like, you know what? I got to find her again because I lost her along the way. What did she desire? Because when we're that age, we're dreaming, we're filled with joy, we're happy. Maybe not always, because we see a lot of kids crying, right? Got to get their way, temper tantrums. For the most part, they're dreaming. So I want you to find that age again, whatever age that was where you stopped dreaming. I want you to go back to that. And I want you to allow yourself to dream again. What do you desire? What is keeping you from being unstuck? What in your life is keeping you from being unstuck? And then I want to welcome you to the uncomfort zone. Uncomfort. Because if you want to stay comfortable, I cannot help you. You got to be willing to step into the uncomfort zone. So we'll sit here and we'll say, there's no way, or I'll wait until X, Y, and Z perfect conditions that don't exist. Good luck. You'll be waiting your whole life. I want the people who want to excel in all areas of life because I can't help people who just want to excel in one area. But if you're ready to excel and become the CEO of your life, let's go. I got you. Let's lock arms. And then once you get me, you don't get rid of me. Y'all should know that by now. I do not have it all figured out. I'm gonna keep telling you that. I got a lot of it figured out because of the journey I've been on, because of the people I've been able to surround myself with nowadays. I'm an advocate for others because of what I've gone through and what I've seen others go through that I cared about. That's why I advocate. That's why I protect other people. That's why I stand up for the cause. That's why I'm no longer silencing myself to make other people happy. And that's why I want to help you not do the same or do the same, not silence yourself. Because that's what we do. We tend to shrink, we make ourselves small because we don't want to make other people uncomfortable. But why? Why do we do that? We are our own obstacle. I realized today through some encounters as well. I exist to bring joy to others and to push them past their own limits. Why? Because I have people around me who do that for me. And what I will say is, all glory goes to God because had I not begun to allow Him to lead, He couldn't have led me to the right people. I've had a lot of the not so right people, right? But now I'm getting led to the right people because I'm like, okay, you got it. I'm giving it to you at the beginning of the day. All right, Lord, what are we doing today? Who do you want to place in front of me? Who am I to encounter today? And I don't know what it's going to look like all the time, but it looks a lot different because I've learned how to move out of my own way and I don't focus on what I'm going through right this second. I focus on the possibility of what's to come. And that's why with the teens, that's what when I speak life into them, I'm like, hey, focus on the possibility, not necessarily what you see every day, what you're around every day, because sometimes you can't help your situation, which that's where I was. But nobody ever told me to focus on the possibility of what you can do one day. So when doors closed, I kind of just I got stuck. I stopped taking those risks. And then I finally started taking them, but then I wasn't taking the right risk. I was relying more on people than I was God. So I had to stop doing that too. So we need to stop people pleasing. We need to start setting boundaries. And it's truly, truly time, you guys. It is time. It is time to get unstuck. So if you are ready, I want you to put in the chat, I'm ready. I want you to comment on this video, I'm ready. And my team will reach out to you because there's no time like the present, you guys. There's no time like the present. And we can keep waiting on perfect conditions, but it does not exist. It just does not exist. So we have to take action. It is time to take actions. Our lives are not going to stop. And I will be one to tell you right now, I am one of the most stubborn people I know. Hmm I have had to fall on on my face, not once, not twice. I don't even know how many times. But I tell you, the last time I fell was when I finally woke up. And I said, you know what? Something's got to change. Something's got to change. I don't want you to have to get to that point. Maybe you already have, but I promise you, there's some more coming if you're not careful. Because life is going to life. Life is going to continue to throw challenges. We're going to continue to endure hardships. I've got things going on in my personal life that you don't even know about. But guess what? I'm still committed to showing up for me each and every day. I'm still committed to allowing God to lead. And I'm still committed to saying, you know what, regardless of what I'm going through, I know, I know wholeheartedly now that whatever I am going through, it's going to have the ability to help others in the future. So it's not what's happening to me, it's what's happening for me. Every experience you have has the ability to help someone else that is going through that once you get through it. The problem is, and I had this conversation today, the problem is we often tend, and this was me, we often tend to try to propel everyone else from down here instead of waiting until we get up here and reaching back. What does God do? God reaches back and he says, come and I will help you, right? He doesn't try to pour from an empty cup. So why do we? Why do we really think that we can help people if we're way down here and we're trying to just push everybody else? I am one of people's biggest supporters. I will support people all day long. But what I had to realize was I was supporting people while I was not in a position to support them. So I had to get myself in a place where now I can truly reach back and I say, hey, I'm going up here. I want you to come with me. Do you want to go? And that's something that people have to, that's a decision they have to make on their own. So as you watch this video, I hope that it has had the ability to place some things into your mind that will allow you to think differently because it's time to become the CEO of your life. Maybe I'm not the coach for you, but that's okay. Find somebody because I promise you, you won't get unstuck by yourself. And like the conversation I had, the reason I got into the Cortina method and some of those things was because a lot of our programming, a lot of our stuckness starts from our subconscious mind. So we're trying to change everything from here in our conscious brain, but we can't because our subconscious programming is still running. And a lot of that was from our childhood. And it's things that we don't even remember. So to try to continue to become unstuck that way is going to be very difficult. So that's why I've implemented the Cortina method into my one-on-one coaching because I want to get people fully unstuck so on a subconscious level before we even enter the time blocking, the schedule, having a planner, reflecting on our day, getting up a little bit earlier, stop people pleasing, setting healthy boundaries. I got to get you unstuck from you before I can get you unstuck from other people. So if this resonated with you, please make sure you engage, come to the community, be a part of it, engage, interact. Don't just sit there. I want to have conversations with you. This isn't the Jody show. This is about how we can come together to create a lasting impact on the world around us. So who's in? Shift this and everything else around you will shift. So again, if this resonated with you, please share it. Make sure you click on that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell so that way every time I go live, I am hoping to be able to keep this up. But just make sure you got that bell because yeah, I can't promise it'll be 4:30 every single day. Right? Sometimes it's a little bit later depending on my daughter's schedule. For those who have kids, we understand this, right? It's not about being regimented. It's about being flexible and understanding that we have to do the best we can with what we have. So if I get on here at 4:50, hey, at least I got on here. So make sure you hit that bell, share this with other people who need to hear it. There are some nuggets in here today, y'all. So make sure you took notes. take notes if you're watching this later. And if nothing else, make sure that you engage, come to the community. The website is on the YouTube channel. Make sure you come engage. Don't just sit there and wait. If you have questions, ask them. Be a part of something bigger than yourself. Because I am here to help you, but I can't help anybody that's not willing to help themselves. So, with that being said, God bless you. I hope you have a terrific Monday. And I hope that you continue. So, step into your greatness and seek help and trust the process. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for another day. Thank you for the blessings. Thank you for the doors that are opening that we don't even see yet. Thank you for allowing us to come together and to be part of a community. Thank you for all the experiences that you've allowed me to go through in order for me to get to a point where I could do videos like this and help other people at the level that I didn't even realize I could help them at. Thank you for all things. Lord, I just ask that anybody watching this video, whatever they're going through, you know what they have in their heart. You know their desires. Lord, I just ask you that you walk with them and you help them tap into those areas of life and you help them seek the right people, set healthy boundaries so that they can become the CEO of their life and they can fully walk out the purpose that you have already called them to. Lord, I ask these things in your name. Amen. God bless you and have an amazing day.